Yeah, what's up, my friends? 5 years off of weed. I'm going to share with you my experience. And the first thing I want to say is quitting weed 5 years ago was the best move I ever could have made for my life. I am so proud of that struggling self of mine 5 years ago that had the willingness to be honest with himself and say, enough, I can't live this way anymore. And if you're struggling, this video is for you. There's a lot of hope for you. And my experience is clearly that life is way better without weed, way better. And I know that may trigger some weed proponents or people that don't want to be honest with themselves with it. That's okay. Hey, if you're enjoying it and it's making you happy and well adjusted in life and you're happy spiritually and emotionally, more power to you. Peace. I understand. I tried that for 30 years and I kept repeating the same pattern where I'd end up depressed, just weed depressed, just like feeling shitty about myself and then treating that discomfort in my life with more weed and getting like a 10-minute relief and then having it just return endlessly. And I don't even know where to begin how much better life is for me without having to use weed in any capacity whatsoever, and also not having to even have it be like a question whether weed serves me at all, ever. It does not. And that's really what I had to do to really finally hit that point where it was just, I was done, done. Like no more. I had to reach the point where that weed, the belief, the understanding, the knowing that weed does not serve me in any capacity whatsoever. So some of the things that weed blocked me from was a major part was just being myself. I mean, I would get 10. I mean, if you smoke weed daily, you build up a tolerance, you get 10 or 15 minutes, and then what? Then you're just like, kind of useless. And I know it's triggering. I get a lot of comments. People get triggered. That's my experience. If it's your experience too, which I know it is, if you've continued to smoke weed for a period of time, you can change. You can change. I went to a concert the other day, a few weeks back, and it was this really cool band. It was this reggae dance band, and the music was awesome, and I ran into a bunch of people that I knew, and I could tell they were in that weed cycle, man, because they wanted to be free, they wanted to be loose, they wanted to not be self-conscious, and they probably, when they smoked weed an hour or two earlier, probably did feel really good and didn't feel self-conscious and didn't worry about what they were doing with their hands. But I saw them and my heart goes out to them because I know that they're in that cycle. I mean, they had this kind of flat line, kind of didn't know kind of what to do with their hands and what to think. And when they tried to dance, but you could tell they just weren't free. And that's what's different about being on this side of using weed consistently and now not, and doing the work that it takes to be free. I mean, you can't just quit weed and you're free. You do have to do some work, but man, I was free at that concert. I was dancing. I had so much fun. It was great to see my friends that I love and care for so much. It was great to just dance freely and just to be free and not think about what I'm doing with my hands and feel some compassion and empathy for the people who are stuck in that life. And that's why I make videos. I make videos to give you hope that you don't need to live that way. You don't. You can change. So many things have changed. It's hard to know where to start, but I sleep better. I feel better more consistently. When I have emotional difficulties, I am able to develop the mindfulness and the awareness and address those issues. And some of those are just basic human experiences like insecurity and fear and, just that feeling of not being enough and those kind of experiences, they well up in me. I'm a human being. I used to think I was the only one. The longer I live and the more relationships I have with people who speak honestly, the more I realize I'm just a human being. And I have those feelings. And with weed, I use that as a medicine to deal with those feelings, and it would stuff it, and I was stuck. And what I feel 5 years out is I don't feel stuck today. I feel like I heard a woman talk the other day, and she was talking about, are you on the caboose of your life or are you on the engine? And the caboose is always looking backwards, and feeling powerless as to what direction your life is taking. And that was my experience on weed. And 5 years later, I feel, I have to pay attention for sure. And it's not 100% because I'm a human being. And sometimes I look back and sometimes I well up and sometimes I'm not aware of it. But the ability to know that that I can redirect my attention and be on the engine of my life, on the moment of creation, is empowerment. And when I was smoking weed and trying to deal with my emotions and my spiritual life and my just awareness and mindfulness, I was stuck. I was absolutely stuck and not growing and feeling just flat. And I'm not flat today. Life is exciting. And again, I want to emphasize the point. It's not all, yoo-hoo, yeah. It's not like that. But it's this awareness that I am, that I can recenter on being on the engine of my life and create from here moving forward. And that I can walk through discomfort and I don't have to take anything to deal with life. I've learned skills, some mindfulness skills and some just awareness that wherever my focus goes, I have the confidence that I can continue to focus on a direction. And that's what I could not do on weed. And I tried for 30 years. And I would get some time off it and I would think, okay, this time I'm going to control it. And the same thing would happen. I would just be locked into that misery, that 10 minutes of peace and music and creative epiphanies. And then what? Then hours of flat. And getting off weed, in the beginning, the first month is challenging because you have to sit there flat. You're used to getting your dopamine from weed. You're used to getting your pleasure from weed. Even though it led to depression, that's where you got it from. And when you quit, you got to learn new ways to get some feel-good juice going. And forward movement. That's what I feel today, 5 years into it, is forward movement. And it's not like a graph like this. It's life. You make some progress and then you take some stumbles and then you just keep moving forward. And that's what I was unable to do on weed. I was just in this cycle down here, just this same old cycle for years and years and years. And it's difficult these days because the pro-weed narrative is everywhere. And there is a lot of denial with it. There's a lot of denial. People want to believe that this is like a cure-all and it's a beautiful thing. And they're denying their own experience, you know? And that's why I make videos, you know, to share my experience in hopes that if you are struggling, to know that there's a way out, and you don't have to live that way, and you can feel useful and on the engine of your life, and you don't have to go back to that cycle. And if you're in that cycle, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you're in denial that you're in that cycle and you're still watching this video and you're pissed off, I encourage you to do some more internal work and, you know, answer some tough questions. All right. Anyway, that's what I got. Much love. I hope that helped. I know I haven't made a video in a while. It feels good to be making a video again. Yeah, still in the game. Life is good. Peace.